What if the tears you cried this year were not wasted? What if every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every moment you almost gave up was heard? Listen closely. This message is for the one who made it to the end of the year but not without scars. You didn't imagine how heavy it felt. You didn't exaggerate the pain. This year asked more of you than you thought you had to give. You lost things you prayed would last. You waited for answers that never came. You trusted, and it cost you. You believed, and still felt disappointed. And somewhere along the way, you started asking questions you never thought you would ask God. Why did this have to happen? Why now? Why me? If you're honest, there were moments you smiled on the outside, but felt empty inside. Moments you worshipped with tears in your eyes and no words in your mouth. Moments you kept going only because stopping felt more dangerous than continuing. God sees that. He sees the strength it took just to survive. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are not faithless for feeling confused. You are human, walking through something holy and hard at the same time. This year stripped things away. Comfort, certainty, control, and it hurt more than you expected. But hear this gently. God does not waste seasons like this. What felt like breaking was also exposing. What felt like loss was also making room. Sometimes God allows a year to empty you so the next one can fill you with what actually lasts.
You see, we often ask God to change our situation, but He is more focused on transforming our foundation.
And foundations are never built on easy ground. This year taught you how to pray without words, how to trust without guarantees, how to keep walking when faith felt like a whisper instead of a shout. That was not nothing. That was preparation. God was teaching your heart how to hold weight without collapsing. He was deepening your roots where no one could see. Because what is coming requires stability, not just excitement. You thought this year was taking from you, but God was removing what could not go where He is leading you. There are prayers you prayed years ago that could not be answered with the version of you that started this year. So God began shaping someone new. Pain has a way of revealing what truly matters. It clarifies priorities. It exposes false attachments. It teaches dependence in ways comfort never could. And even though you didn't choose this season, God chose to walk with you through it. You were not abandoned. You were being refined. Now listen to this truth slowly. God is not late. God is not cruel. God is not confused about your life. He sees the full picture. Even when all you can see are the tears. There are answers that only come after endurance. There are blessings that only make sense after surrender. And there are doors that only open once you've learned how to let go of the ones that closed. This year was not the end of your story. It was the chapter that gave the next one meaning. So before you label this season as a failure, pause. Before you assume nothing good came from it, breathe. Because the same God who carried you through the hardest days of this year is already standing in the next one, and He is not empty-handed. What if next year is not random? What if it is intentional? What if it is the response to prayers you cried instead of spoke? This year taught you how to survive. The next one will teach you how to live again. Not recklessly, not naively, but rooted, grounded, aware of who God is and who you are becoming. Hold on. You are closer than you think, because what God is about to do will not erase your tears. It will answer them. This is where the story turns. Not loudly, not suddenly, but faithfully. God is aligning you for what this year could not hold. Revelation 1. God is aligning you for what your old self could not carry. Some doors stayed shut because you were still becoming. God was not withholding, He was protecting. Scripture says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven." Ecclesiastes 3. 1. Joseph dreamed big dreams, but he could not walk into the palace as a boy. The pit shaped him. The prison refined him. And when the time came, he stood steady under authority, instead of breaking beneath it. This year was your alignment. It adjusted your heart. It straightened your priorities. It prepared your character to match the blessing. Revelation 2. God is strengthening you where you felt the weakest. You thought the tears meant failure. God saw endurance. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Paul did not lose his thorn. He gained deeper power. You prayed for relief. God gave you resilience. The strength you carry now is quieter, but it is deeper. It will hold you when life accelerates. Revelation 3. God is redeeming what looked wasted. Nothing you cried over was ignored. The Lord will restore the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. Ruth lost everything she thought defined her future. Yet her faithfulness in obscurity placed her in the lineage of kings. Your obedience in pain mattered. Your integrity when no one was watching mattered. God redeems seasons that felt empty and fills them with purpose. Revelation 4. God is repositioning you for clarity and peace. Some relationships faded. Some plans collapsed. Some paths closed suddenly. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Abraham had to leave what was familiar to step into promise. You did too, and now your discernment is sharper. Your peace is more protected. Your yes is more intentional. Revelation 5. God is preparing a testimony, not just a breakthrough. What comes next will not just bless you, it will speak through you. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Revelation 12:11. Your survival will strengthen someone else. Your story will remind others that God is faithful, even when answers take time. Now listen carefully. You are not stepping into the next year empty. You are stepping in refined. God has been working behind the scenes. While you were crying, He was aligning. While you were waiting, He was arranging. This next season will not look like revenge against the past. It will look like restoration, peace where anxiety lived, clarity where confusion ruled, hope where disappointment lingered, not because life will be perfect, but because you are anchored. So when the enemy whispers, "This year broke you," you answer, "No, it built me." When fear says, "What if nothing changes?" you respond, "God already has." Say this with faith. God was with me in the tears. God is with me in the turning. God will be with me in what's coming. And may this next year bring rest to your spirit, strength to your steps, and confirmation that God never left your side. If this message spoke to you, you are not alone. There is more being forged in you than you realize. Subscribe and stay connected with the Forge Within, where faith is shaped, strength is refined, and your story is still unfolding.